like far, and then the reticle speed is different.
See it, be like, okay, I think I'm gonna
use this right now.
Yeah, and if I need it, cool, and then if I don't, cool too.
Cool. Yeah, I just gotta fix the monitor so everybody can still be able to hear them, but I'll do that in a second. Let me go ahead and introduce the show.
Let's do it.
This is the place where sports fans collide. Dennis works. I'm your host, going to be in show. I'm going to show you how 3-4-24-7. Spike Lou.
One up, though.
And we won't be able to hear them. But we have Shelton J and Q join us first video. What up, y'all?
What up? Yo, they're saying the mics are off.
Yeah, I know, right? yeah. I gotta move some things with my cable. Sorry for the delay. There was a technical issue. Like I said, we have new equipment in here, and not everything is fully coordinated in the system. And we have an audio issue. We got only 2 of the mics were working, and I had to call Jim, the tech guy, and he said he was messing around with some settings, so screwed everything up. So it's his fault. So now I had to kind of reset everything. But it is what it is. And before we get into the show, make sure you guys hit the share button, the like button, comment button, join, become a member. We do call-in shows. Just a programming note, we only have 3 Thursday shows left in the year. So, which means we probably have 1 more call-in show scheduled for the year. So shout out to Rob, Josh Rose, Marty McFly, everybody that called in last week. It was great talking to you guys. Igwe as well. Don't want to forget you, brother. And yeah, that's that. Nick is not here, as you guys can see, but if you guys Or subscribe to the channel when you go to them to get the notification. You saw that he loved his comments.
Ken, I think your mic's still off.
His action in a video that was uploaded about 30 minutes before we went live, probably 40 minutes now. So yeah, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and hand this thing over to Spike while I try to fix this monitor. And yeah,
What up, though? I'm taking the reins since Nick is out. Kind of steer this thing right nice and back, people. You the captain. I'm the captain of the I am the captain. No, so let's hop right into it, man. My boys jumped out. You know, we started with Dallas talk. I get to run the ship. I'm right here in the middle of it. 40-3, people. I picked the Vikings to go to the Super Bowl last year. So this is like, I liked it, but you know, future down the road, maybe it worries, maybe it doesn't. What did you think when you see my Cowboys put up 40 points? So on the Vikings.
So when I didn't watch that whole game, I made it home from that.
No need to.
Yeah, I didn't need to. And I was trying to find, something to watch or whatever. Because throughout the shoot, I was, trying to stay up to date with what was happening through Red Zone. And by the time I got home, the Cowboys and Vikings was on. And when I turned it on, it was 37-3. And I said, what the fuck going on?
Yes, sir.
So automatically, I already knew it, they ain't coming back because it was like 37-3. And like at the end of the third quarter, like it was already done. So I was like, nah, bro. So I just cut it off and I saw the highlights and stuff. It was bad. Like it was bad. But here's the thing though. Great win for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They dominated in all phases of the game.
Okay.
They really did. And them Vikings can do shit with Micah. Michael was living in that backfield all day.
Bro, on the first drive, third down, I feel like everybody in the world seen Michael Parsons line up on the right-hand side about to sack Kirk Cousins for that fumble, but Kirk Cousins. Everybody seen it but him, and it happened. You're right, he did a great job. Vikings got dominated. This. Do you look at them as a lesser than team? It's just a hiccup. What do you think about the Vikings more so than the Cowboys? We'll get into the Cowboys in a minute.
Well, I've always felt like that, right? Because of their quarterback. Very good team. Me and you predicted that they're going to have a better season than they did last year because they got an offensive head coach.
Right.
Another year, whoop-de-woo. They went and got T.J. Hawkinson, right? So you see that they're playing into let's put the chips to the middle of the table.
Let's go.
And I like it. And they're a good team, and their record is representative of who they are because it's not like they dominated in all of those 8 wins. Some of those wins, they had to come from behind. I remember Darius Slade was eating Justin Jefferson's lunch earlier in the year. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
they're not a supremely dominant team, right? And I'm going to bring this team up just to make the comparison. If Mahomes and them boys was down 21 points, do you feel that they're out of it? No.
Absolutely not.
If the Vikings is down 20, it's a wrap.
I turned the channel. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I turned the channel. I was like, it's over.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't got the build, and I'm talking about Kirk Cousins mostly. Once they got down, I knew it was over. Like he ain't Kirk Cousins. He ain't built like that.
He's not.
What do you think about this game?
It went out again. What'd you say?
What do you think about that? Can you hear me?
No, it went back out. Something happened when you came back up.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but the mics are out. But what'd you say though?
For me, since I picked the Vikings to go to the Super Bowl, I still feel like it's a solid pick. I'm scared of Kirk Cousins, obviously, still. Like, there's nothing to replace that. However, this is one of those games that the Vikings lose. Like, in the long run, it may help them in the playoffs. They got to face Dallas. They're not going to get beat 4-3 again.
No,
right? So now in the playoffs, when they are facing Dallas, if that comes to be, then they may have a better shot.
Again, and this is the reason why I brought the Chiefs. Right? There's certain teams that you feel that even if they're down, whether it be one player, schematically, whatever, what have you, you feel that they're still in the game, right? Like even Jimmy G and that 49ers team, they're down 24. Kyle Shanahan's calling them plays. Like,
he's still going.
you still go, and that defense is really good. So it's like they might lose, but they have a chance to win.
Hold on, the audio went out. What the fuck is going on, yo?
The Vikings, I just don't see, like, I don't have that level of confidence and trust that they would be able to.
Yeah, hold tight. I don't know why it keeps going in and out.
Yo,
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check.
There it is. Now we're back out.
Is it back out now?
No, it's in. It's there. You go.
Oh, you can hear us clear now. Like we
All right.
talking now, you
Yeah.
can hear us. We good. If I ask you a
Yeah.
question, we good. Perfect.
Mhm.
Q, you good?
Yo, you get me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, for
But yeah, now to me, the Vikings, man, they're just not. They're very talented, but the QB is the reason why they're not a championship contender,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
All right. Shelton,
Mhm.
since you can hear us now,
Yes.
you picked Dallas to win this game.
Yes.
How do you feel about the Vikings moving forward since they got their ass whooped like this?
I feel the same. I felt like they were going to win their division. I did pick the Vikings to win their division, but that's based off the other teams. But I feel the same way. We know what Kirk Cousins is. We talk about Kirk Cousins like it's nobody's business. That's why I don't put a whole lot of stock. Dallas, that was impressive for Dallas, but I don't put a whole lot into it because I really just don't trust the Vikings. The Vikings can come out and beat a team. They can come out and beat a team like Kansas City at times, but they can also come out and lay an egg and get beat 40-0 or 40-3 or whatever. That's the same thing. If you get on them, ain't really much they can do. And it's just and it really boils down to the quarterback and leadership. It's real hard. It's real hard to get off when you can't get off. And that's a team that doesn't have in another angle. When one thing isn't working, they can't shift it to something else. That's just not how Kirk Cousins is built.
Yeah, if Justin Jefferson ain't going, then it's over for them. It's going to be a long Sunday for the Vikings. Justin Jefferson ain't getting off. But I mean, Kirk Cousins is average though. I think
That contract don't say that.
that contract definitely doesn't say that. But for me, what it says is just like I talked about Dak last week, and when he has to face a big dog. When you talk about Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, people who have proven to be winners, he sometimes doesn't. He ain't fit to the billing. But when it's somebody like Kirk Cousins, somebody who I ought to be better than, oh yeah, I'm gonna put up 40. I'm gonna go for 200 plus yards passing. I'm gonna have 3 TDs. I'm gonna go 21 for 23. I feel like Dak kind of plays down this competition, like he can bully niggas like Kirk Cousins. Am I wrong? Is that right?
100%. 100% for me, and it really just depends. It's game by game, honestly, and it's a lot of teams that are that way. But Dallas and Dak is that way. They're a team that has the ability to be a team that beats another team that's really good 40-3. They have that kind of talent. We know that. We talked about that all the time. But the matter of fact is you got to be able to go out there and do it night in and night out. And that's a team that I don't see doing it night in and night out. I see the slip-ups.
Not seeing it night in, night out is fair. FIFO, I want to hear from you and Shelton. In the NFC, and also you too, Q, even though I know you Eagles biased. In the NFC, where is Dallas right now?
Middle of the pack.
4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah, 4 is too high.
I give them 4. I agree.
49ers, the Eagles.
Yeah, I agree. 49ers, Eagles, and that random other team out of the blue. You can take your pick.
That's fair. Q, you agree? Same thing between that 4 and 6 range?
Yeah, somewhere between like 4 and 7. Yeah.
Okay. I ain't mad at that as a Cowboys fan. That's how we sneak up and win our next Super Bowl in that 4 to 7 range. With that being said, focusing more on Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, do you guys feel like that he's wasted the talent of the Vikings roster with Dalvin Cook, with Jeff? Like, do y'all think that Kirk Cousins is not the answer and they should move on quicker or should move on right now?
I think sometimes
it's a Nick question, by the way.
Yeah, it is a Nick question. I think sometimes you got to go with the best option available, especially when you got so many other pieces already solved on the team. Because if you go with a young quarterback, it's not guaranteed that that quarterback can lead you where you need to go. And I'm not saying it's guaranteed that Kirk can do it, but you know what you have with Kirk, right? When you go with somebody that's, let's just say, like if they go with Baker, like Baker's not better than Kirk Cousins.
No,
Kirk Cousins is way more consistent. You know what you're going to get out of him. You know that he's not going to be a Mahomes, Josh Allen, who's my guy with the Chargers?
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. We know that he's not that, but we know he's in that mid tier, right? And when you know what you're getting, then you can plan, you can put as much around him as possible, and they have a good team with Kirk. But I don't know how you upgrade from Kirk, because who is available that's better than Kirk? Because if you're better than Kirk, guess what? You locked up. That team that has you, that if you're a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, you locked up.
You got a big time contract. Back.
So to me, it's like it's kind of a catch-22, and it's a slippery slope. If you move on, who do you go to? Because you got to upgrade. You can't go backwards. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are available that are better than Kirk. So, in my opinion, I think the Vikings have done the best that they can do, because every team has a window, and they're just trying to maximize the window with what they have. Now, obviously, Kirk is the weakest link out that offensive group.
Thanks. But it's still the best option that they have.
They overpay for it, but it is what it is.
Show. Or Q. Whichever one you want to
Go ahead, Sheldon.
What was that question again?
For Kirk Cousins, do you feel like that he's wasting the talent on the Vikings team, or do you feel like that's the best option that they have?
It is. Both answers are correct. He is wasting the talent because we're not going to see the Vikings in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry to say. And he's had, like I said, he had Diggs, he had Thielen in his prime, and he's had Justin Jefferson, and he's had Dalvin Cook. He's had some of the greatest collection of talent around him that any of the guys had. I can't remember the tight end that name they had that was pretty good a couple years ago. But they had that too. So that talent is there. It's just winning the games that matter. And that's the problem with a lot of these players is getting over the hump. Like I said, it took, they did beat Buffalo, but Buffalo gave them that game 80 different times to win. And if you look at him winning those games, you don't have a Kirk Cousins moment. It's always somebody else's moment. So in saying that, he did waste that, but like FIFO said, he's the best option available. And even though you had opportunities to get other players in there, draft other players and do other things, you had other needs. So you kept him there in that place. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And out of those 32, ain't but 16 of them that guy. You know what I'm saying? The other ones are serviceable. Yeah, well, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So probably 8. So the rest of them are serviceable. Some of them just get the job done. But you got to rate that 9 to 32 accordingly. And he's in that 32. He's in there. But in saying that, that's not the championship formula. You're going to have some heroic games by Dalvin Cook and, some definite heroics by Justin Jefferson and that defense in order to get over the hump. And it just ain't going to happen.
Q, how you feel about old Kirk?
I like Kirk Cousins. I always felt like he was overhated by a lot of people. Him, even Jimmy G, to a certain degree, I don't get why people have a huge issue with them. They're pretty much luxury system QB with the ability to make a couple throws out of their body, but not all the throws that you need to get to a championship. And I feel as though the only way for Vikings fans to be upset with Kirk is if you don't know who Kirk Cousins is. You gotta hope, like in any other team, any given Sunday. So I don't get why one Sunday Kirk is a hero for they want to change on him. The next Sunday he got to go. It doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? But I think more of the eyes have to be paid attention to. Some of the play calling is really weird to me in second halves for Minnesota, and I also want to put a highlight on the fact that Justin Jefferson, to be considered the top 2 wide receiver in the league, you got to be more consistent. You have to be consistent every single week. Do it. You can't have somebody put you in the doghouse one week, then have the greatest catch ever the next week, and then, you know what I mean? It just it has to be consistent.
That makes sense. They have 2 catches the next week. You're absolutely right. What I would say with that, the Vikings are built so Kirk Cousins doesn't have to be a superstar, and he's not. Right. So he does, to your point, Q, to everyone's point who said so, he does just enough to get by. If the Vikings want to be a serious contender, though, they would have to get better at the position. Like Kirk Cousins, like y'all are saying, may not win your Super Bowl. I know I picked him to get there because I thought they had a favorable schedule. But now that I'm looking at it and I see how my Cowboys whooped their ass 40-3, I don't see how San Francisco wouldn't whoop their ass in the playoffs or even in like one of the wild card teams. Ken, you had any thoughts about Kirk?
Yeah, I mean, Kurt is who he is at this point. You know, and I think I saw people describe him as Jimmy G, and I think that's kind of accurate. I can go with that. You know, at this point, man, like, you know, I'm at the point, man, where when we know what guys are, you know,
quit expecting so much.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, yeah.
Kirk Cousins' primetime record for his career is 10-18 games at 4 p.m. or later. His record against playoff teams is 10-40.
Wow.
You know, want to read a quick. Hold on, Q. Just want to read this quick super chat from CD. Jimmy G won't win you a game in the playoffs, but he won't lose it either.
Right.
Kirk will absolutely lose you a game.
That is a fact.
Correct. And that's what I was going to say. You know, that was the point I was going to make, Sarky. But the difference in Jimmy G is Jimmy G is not going to be that guy that just kills you. At times he does make mistakes, but Kirk Cousins will give that thing away. Like he'll give it away. And it happens so often. And once again, you can't count on him to make a play when you need him to make a play. I just don't believe in him. And
part of that has to do with, part of that has to do with, I think Jimmy G is fully aware of who he is. I think that Kirk Cousins thinks he's a little bit better than what he is. So he's going to take a little bit more chances. Even in Michigan State coming into, they were trying to say that he could take RG3 out of that starting position, like even coming into the league. So I think that Kirk Cousins has this misconception of who he is, and that's where you get the mistakes that are made from him. Next, talking about Zach Wilson. A lot of backlash him over this weekend. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait, yeah,
Q. No, it's all good. Let's go.
My bad. Go ahead.
No. It's all good. Let's go.
Okay. Moving on to Zach Wilson. A lot of backlash from him. The Jets lost the game on a punt return. It was a 10-3 game. They had
84 yards.
84-yard
punt 84 return. Yards.
3-3 the whole game. They hadn't beat the Patriots in like 6 years, and this was going to be the chance they were to win. And after the game, Zach Wilson was asked, does he think he could have done more to help out the defense than putting up 3 points? And Zach Wilson said, absolutely not.
Ooh.
He said he couldn't have. That, of course, caused a lot of backlash. He's been getting a lot of flack for this. I have a question for the whole room. Do you guys think that Zach Wilson will be able to win the locker room back?
Nope. You know what this is right here? What you're witnessing? Baker 2.0. This is Baker 2.0. Somebody that's a little overconfident, somebody that thinks that their ability is actually greater than what it really is, somebody that, bro, as one of the young QBs in the league, right? The offense, the GM has done a damn good job. And maybe they're not a complete team yet, offensively and defensively, but that defense is legit. That's a top 10 defense in the league.
Mosley was so key to them being good. People don't understand him being hurt and then coming back is make a big difference. Defense for them. But go ahead.
So you have an opportunity. Who he needs to study is Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Come in, do your job, don't ruffle no feathers, learn, accomplish something, and then you can poke your chest out. But there's a formula to get to that point, and you think you're already there, and you're not. And there's nothing that you've done to prove that on a consistent basis. Do you have a good game here, a good game there? Yeah. But this is year 2, and we need to see it more consistently, and we're not doing it. You know who's starting to get, excuse my pun, legs up on them?
Who?
Justin Fields.
Facts. He is.
He's the 5th leading rusher in the NFL now. And even though he does not have the weaponry outside for him to make the throws, we know he can make the throws, but number one, he ain't got the time. Number two, he ain't got the guys to go get it. You see him doing whatever it takes for him to do to be competitive in games.
Yeah.
Zach don't have that approach. Zach got a little bit more wiggle to him. Hey, bro, go out here, go run for 5 yards instead of throwing a bad throw.
As Rob just said, that punt return gained more yards than Zach Wilson did. And my thing is, if you Zach Wilson, ain't no way in hell you can go out there and say you couldn't do more when you only had 77 yards total pass for the game. Get the fuck out of here. Somebody needs to see him, bro.
What was it? 9 out of 22?
He needs to be benched just for even saying that shit.
Bro, they have a better chance of winning with Joe Flacco. They really do.
Well, from what I see, what I see, they're questioning that because Saleh has not announced if he's going to continue to start or not yet. He hasn't named the starter. So Joe Flacco might be the answer, or Mike White for that matter. White played good last year. He beat the Bengals. So I'd like to see him.
Flacco the third string, White's the backup.
So don't be surprised when we see White.
Saleh was definitely on the fence about if Wilson was going to start Sunday. Q, what do you say?
Yeah, he's terrible. They're probably gonna bench him if they haven't already. Mike White. So I think they could go on a little bit of a run, man. They just have that type of spirit about them. I think we're at the point now in the NFL, like we just talked about with Kirk Cousins, where I think unless you are Patrick Mahomes, everybody's overrated. Everybody. No, I'm serious. Unless you're Patrick Mahomes, everybody's overpaid. Everybody's overrated. Everybody that you say is the next this and that is not. I don't care who it is, from Jalen Hurts to Justin Herbert to all these QBs who are mid every other week and great every other week. This is a week-to-week league now. So if you can catch a team slipping and you have a defense and an offense that has a couple playmakers, guys have injuries, it's just the way the league goes, man. So the Jets, they have to make at least a C for a game if something changes.
Zach Wilson was 9 for 22 on Sunday with 77 yards, 40% passing. I absolutely think the Jets should throw the cards in. Like, this is a bad decision. He was a one good year he had at BYU. I saw an exchange between Booger and Steve Young after the game on Monday Night Football, and Booger said that it had to do with Zach Wilson coming from a well-to-do background and never having to take responsibility in his life.
Oh, this is what's the other quarterback that was like
Josh
that?
Rosen. Rosen.
Yes, and he's attributing it to him being from a rich family. Do you guys think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
100%.
Yeah, Shelton just said Josh Rosen was another guy that kind of did the same thing, and he got put out of the league real quick. I didn't even know that, but yeah, some of these guys are giving it to him early, and it makes no sense. Yeah. Go ahead, Shelton.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ken.
Oh, I was just going to read the super chats, but go ahead.
What I was going to say about that is you're right. Josh Rosen did the same thing. And the funny thing about both of those quarterbacks is I saw the same looks in their eyes when they were under pressure. When Josh Rosen was at UCLA and when Zach Wilson was at BYU, when teams would pressure them, they had that same deer in the headlights look. And I was like, there's no way this guy is that guy they trying to make him. I don't know if y'all remember before the draft, I screamed it. I kept saying, he's not the guy. I said the same thing about Sam Darnold because I saw these guys play in college. I saw them. So what they're trying to make them out to be is not what they are. Now, they've done it with others. We got Mitch Trubisky. We got Daniel Jones. We even got Josh Allen. They did the same thing with him, even though he's doing well. Carson Wentz was winning in college, but they made these guys out, these prototypical white guys, out to be the guy. They fit the prototype of a quarterback. And so that's what these guys were trying to accomplish with these white quarterbacks, but not all of them are the guy. And if they don't show it in college, how in the world are we going to say they're going to do it? They're doing it now with the guy at Kentucky. Same thing.
Will
Levi.
Yeah, he's not showing up in these games that matter, and they're trying to make him out to be that guy. No, he's going to be the same as these other guys. It's the same thing. It's the same formula. But Zach, I'm going to tell you, though, straight up, I promise you can look back to tape, whatever you want to look at. I told y'all, Zach was not that guy coming in. He was never going to be that guy. He was never it. And the fact that he's making these comments now, and the difference, FIFO, and him and Baker, of course, Baker wasn't trash either, but Baker at least came in and won some games for that team that hadn't won before he got there. So he at least had something he could stand on and say, well, I can talk a little bit of shit because I at least did this. This guy ain't done nothing. He's done nothing but be a detriment.
Yeah. Took Cleveland to the playoffs, won a playoff game, and fell off after that. But real quick, just a couple of super chats from Musa. Only logical explanation for the Jets taking Wilson over Fields is racism, because no other explanation makes sense. My man, LOL. And oh man, we talked to this brother last Thursday. Josh Bros.
I know he's sick.
He is. He sent in two. He said, I will say I do have empathy in the fact that I sympathize with the fact he isn't emotionally mature enough at his age, but dude just isn't a good QB. Now, and I'm gonna read this other one and then I'll comment. Josh Bros, I'm hurt. I'm sad. I need a violin, y'all. and I'm embarrassed. Zach Wilson is truly one of the worst first-round quarterbacks in a very long time, and he's an absolute prick on top of it all. Man has let me down so much. Now, respect to Josh Bros for just finally he hung in there as long as he could, but he finally was like, you know what? I'm done. And he's been pumping and he's been pumping this guy up and caping for him and really pushing, his agenda. And sometimes, man, the facts are what they are, and you just gotta concede. And I wish it was the other way around, Josh Bros, because I don't want to see this team do this, man. Go through this, but unfortunately, it is. So I'm sorry for you, bro.
It is unfortunate they took that chance on him because there was never. I mean, there might have been some slight flashes that he may have been good, but the resumes for all the other quarterbacks were far better, and they should have took somebody else. And I wouldn't even be mad at the Jets if they was like, fuck it, like this year I'm taking Stroud, I'm taking another quarterback to make up for this, because I don't see Zach Wilson ever coming out of it like. Not to have the wherewithal, even if this is your first year and you are young emotionally, you've been playing quarterback in football locker rooms since you were young. So not to understand, to be like, yeah, this is partly my fault that we only put up 3 points. Even if you don't think that, you can't even say it, but the media, so this shit won't be a big story. Not to understand that says a lot about who he is as a quarterback and as a person. And I think no good things are going to come from that with the Jets.
And it says a lot about being a leader.
Yeah.
The leader takes the bullets.
How do you not get that?
You know what I'm saying? Like, the leader always takes the blame for it. And you humbly take the praise as well. That comes with it. But, in this situation, it would have went so much further in the locker room to be like, hey, you know what? I stunk it up. The rest of the team plays so good. And I couldn't muster more than 3 points and even 100 yards.
People respect you so much more for that. And I'll tell you what I do commend out of this situation is solid. I feel like since this is a high draft pick and he probably does have to play him, he could have came out and been like, well, you know what? He was right and said he's my starter. He actually is thinking about the locker room and like, well, I don't know. I'm going to talk to him and see how he's feeling about this. Hopefully the ship has been righted. Like, he's acting like, well, I know this is the wrong thing to say, and I'm not just going to let him continue to start for my football team. So I do respect that out of the Jets coach.
Yeah, we them boys said the Jets defensive players are liking tweets, Trash and Wilson.
Yeah.
What a world we live in now, man.
Man, we just talked about that with Jalen last week too. All right, moving on. We got the Kansas City game. They pretty much did their thing Sunday night against the Chargers. Has Kansas City officially made their claim for the best team in the NFL?
Yes. They done separated themselves.
They are.
Yeah. And it's really, it comes on, it's just two guys. It's two guys that they ain't shit you can do with.
Coming back to that. And Andy Reid.
Oh, of course. Andy Reid is the chef, but the way Mahomes and Kelsey's balling right now, first of all,
Really ain't fair.
Kelsey is very deceptive. Because it's not like his legs look like he's, moving at a high rate of speed, but then he just starts running away from people. It's like, oh, so nobody's just gonna tackle.
That's wrong. Y'all can't get him down.
And it's just like, well, damn. you can't deny what you're watching, but it doesn't necessarily jump off the page like, oh, like when we watched Antonio Gates, big, strong, he could jump. And you saw
He
the
looked like
girth
he
on
used to
him.
play basketball.
You know what I'm saying? When we watched Shannon Sharp, look, Shannon Sharp still take off his damn shirt. That man looked like he just finished playing in the NFL. Like he's still like physically. There's other guys that have been more imposing. Gronk is way bigger than Kelsey, but when Kelsey's on that field, can't do nothing with him. We talked very high of Derwin James before the season, and Derwin did his best, and that's probably one of the guys that you say you go get him and we'll move out the way. And Derwin, outside of holding him, couldn't do nothing with him.
That's the problem with the Chargers. Staley or whoever the fuck is calling the defense didn't realize, as good as Derwin James is, I still don't want him in single coverage against Kelsey and Mahomes for the last drive of the game. Like, come on, bro.
And the thing about Mahomes, and this is the reason why I brought him up earlier, man, he's really like Steph Curry, bro. It don't matter the down and distance. It don't matter if you got me down by 35 and we coming into the third quarter. It don't matter. If he's healthy, there's a chance to win the game.
And did you see when they scored that last touchdown? He said, "This is
my shit."
It's my shit. Just in case a nigga forgot, it's my shit.
And then I think the stat to just put the cherry on top of everything is that Mahomes and Andy Reid are undefeated in November and December.
24, like
20 at the end. I think it's 24-0.
They 24-3 as a starter against the AFC West. He has 25 consecutive wins in November and December as a starter.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. So look, man, and Q said it too. It's Mahomes and everybody else.
It is.
It's not close. It's not close.
It's weird, and I'm going to toss this off to y'all as far as the question, but it's so weird how we've been in here, and especially the mainstream media, not so much us. Who is the MVP? Who's the best team in the league?
Mahomes
Who's the best quarterback? Bam, the answer is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like he is the best player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, kid?
I like Q's point about Mahomes and everybody else. That actually is spot on. They probably are the best team in the league, but I don't give a damn about any of that stuff right now. He got to win a Super Bowl.
I feel you.
I think we're at that point now, man. Everybody talking about this, about that.
No, 100.
He got one. He lost one. It's time to stack the chips, bro.
100 because and Ken's 100% right, because what else is there for Mahomes to prove? Like, he proved that he belonged. He proved that he's arguably the best. At this point, you in the Tom Brady comment, you got to get the chips, bro.
Yeah, it's like what
the resume there.
Like,
We
you're
might
beating
be
up on.
spoiled, though.
Yeah, as soon we all was talking about in the chat. It's way too much time, for him, and he made it look easy.
He did.
He picked them apart, but that's great in the regular season against the Chargers and Brandon fucking Staley. Okay,
too.
Salute. Yeah, he's terrible. But my thing is, I really didn't like that game, mainly because Kelsey is the reason why Shelton beat me this week in fantasy football. That man went off. Bro, my whole team was.
You was killing me. You was killing me.
I was killing him, bro. I had 119 points. Like, you got to put up points if you're gonna play me. This man, and this
scored like 60 by himself, didn't he?
What did he put up, Shelton? He had 3 touchdowns and something else.
Yeah, I can't remember what all he had.
It
was him and Najee Harris. Najee Harris had a good game too, out of nowhere.
And Najee Harris. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't even look at it until late because I didn't really know because, I was like, okay, everybody played all right, but I was picking up guys off the bench randomly and then I looked and I was like, this motherfucker had Kelsey, and then I saw how much points I scored, and I'm like, damn, I actually could have won this game, this matchup.
Yes,
I already could see
had
the loss with it. Damn.
Oh, Kelsey didn't. He had like 33 points, but you was beating me out the whole game. It was pretty bad that whole game. But I had Kelsey and Harrison Buck. I had a kicker too, and he scored 14.
Bro, 20 points less than I probably, because he beat me like by 10 points maybe.
So it was like one touchdown.
2 touchdowns. Yes.
But
Yeah.
let me ask y'all this. When have we seen a tight end high step into the end zone?
Deion style.
Hey, look, there's been a lot of great pass catching tight ends. A lot of them with swag too. I haven't seen that.
Not like Kelsey. You're right. And he's so a lot of it has to do with, you said this, he ain't faster or bigger than every other tight end. It's just so smart. They were talking about it on the broadcast. When I'm facing zone, since I play quarterback, I know take this many steps and just turn around. And since Patrick Mahomes is so good, he knows exactly when I'm going to turn around. So there's nothing that you can do about this 5 or 6 yard gain, and we can do this all the way up the field, and that's what's like killing.
See, and that's the reason I think that's the biggest separator of Mahomes and all the other quarterbacks. Right? We have other quarterbacks that are mobile that can generate more time. But the difference is typically when a quarterback, like let's say a Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson, right? They're more dangerous with their feet because they're faster, quicker, shiftier. But now one of them keeps a play like open as long as Mahomes does. And then now one of them got the arm talent to make the throws that he makes. So you don't know what to guard when he starts moving around. And Mahomes literally waits to the last absolute second right at the line of scrimmage to make some of these throws. It's like you can't guard it. And then, you were talking about how smart that they are. When they start the freelance is when they're the most dangerous. And there's no defense that you can play to cover that. And then here's the thing, too. I want to add this. I wish Nick was here. They took away Tyreek Hill. They took away the over-the-top, we got to double this guy. Holy shit, he too fast guy.
Yeah.
And like now, Kelsey's still eating up all the underneath shit.
With double team.
And they mauling him. I don't know if y'all pay attention, but they were, especially that fourth quarter, they were tearing Travis Kelsey up. They were mauling him.
Yeah.
And he still was finding ways to get open, get the ball, and make plays. That's unheard of.
Facts. All right. So with that being said, the Bengals Knicks team also, they struggled against Pittsburgh. And Joe Burrow is in his whatever year, Herbert third. Him and Herbert are both in their third years. And the question here asked, as both of them being 3-year starters, which one would you prefer as we gravitate into this Bengals versus Steelers game? Would you take Herbert or would you take Burrow? Q, what say you? I see that face you made.
It's not even a question. Like it's Joe Burrow. Like
it's a Nick question. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, like Nick just wanted us all to talk about Joe Burrow for 20 minutes.
Looking for any kind of way, any week that we can shit.
First of all, the Pittsburgh should have won that game, but it's all good. So
they should have.
Kenny Pickett. I still believe a little bit in this talent. I think that Kenny Pickett is going to be the next Kirk Cousins. So I'm not mad at that.
What happened in that game? I didn't catch it because I saw the chat, but then I saw your response to the Steelers. Somebody saying the Steelers winning out.
Man,
I thought you were joking.
I was trying to will it into existence for Mike T. But
you wrote both of those.
Yeah, I wrote both of those. I was trying to will it into existence.
Typical Q trolling fashion. I thought that's what he was doing.
Low key was. Kenny Pickett, I thought he had a pretty middle of the road game, man. He had some great throws, great moments, and then he had just weird moments where he's missing guys. There's weird moments where he's not checking the ball down. Like it's just, but here's the thing. Once again, this is showing, I think, where the NFL is headed in terms of the quarterback position. For so long, we put so much praise and adulation on it, like, this is the premier position. And everybody has to be this level of elite Pantheon QB. Where like I've been saying for the past few weeks, I'm being very clear. I think that roster construction, schemes, talent, technology, everything that is 2022 sports, it's different. So it's giving us a talent pool where you can win as long as you have a QB who doesn't have to think too much. And I think Kenny Pickett is the type of QB where you don't want him thinking too much. You want him to Here are your first 2 reads. If it's not there, get the ball out of there. If Jared Goff can get you to a Super Bowl, I think Kenny Pickett can. I think Jalen Hurts can. I think Kirk Cousins can. We keep trying to hold people to Mahomes' level, and that shit is not realistic anymore.
Mm-mm.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, to the question, it would be Burrow, but I've been high on Burrow since LSU.
Yes.
You know, and I've talked about him on this program. So I'm naturally going to take him because I loved everything he did in LSU, and I'm happy that it translated to the NFL. I'm not down on Herbert like a lot of people are. I look at that team and I look at the coach, and I see the coach make a lot of bad plays. We talk about Staley all the time, and I would like to see him with a better coach that could utilize his talents properly. Because he has the talent, but when I watched him and I see some of the things that take place in the second half, it's just I'm just like, what is going on here?
Yes.
But yeah, I still think Herbert can play and play at a high level, but I think that coach is an issue.
That coach is going
It
to
is.
be
It is
I think
because you know what else is crazy? We forget Herbert almost beat Mahomes the other day. You know, he came close, and so the separation in teams, in players, yes, ain't a question. There's nobody on Patrick Mahomes' level. But when we talk about teams and being the best in the league, there's not that big of a separation. And we looked at the Titans. If the Titans had any type of quarterback play, they would have won that game. They took the Chiefs to overtime.
Yep.
And that was all quarterbacking. And that has, once again, that's nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes. It's more to do with the defense and the other aspects and the team stuff. So I'm saying that, no, the separation is not as big. But back to Herbert, I agree 100%, Ken. If he had any type of competent coach, then we'd be having a different discussion because the tools are there. We've seen that. We've seen it.
Yeah, and I know
people
Rob. Rob is pointing out the 30 seconds he had. You know, like when we go back to comparing what we just saw, like we saw 2 quarterbacks on the field, right? And we're just gonna ignore the drive that Herbert went down and put him ahead. We're just gonna ignore that, to give them a lead.
Hey, that throw to the old man that's always
Keenan
hurt.
Allen.
What's the name?
Oh my God, that was great.
Catch.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Yeah, Keenan Allen.
So he went down and did that, and we just saw greatness at a whole other level on the field. Just walk down and make it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So when you see that, and then you see Herbert try to, I don't know if he improvised that QB draw or if that was a call.
My God.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
That was a call. I think that was a call.
It looked like it was a call. I was trying
saw that happen somewhere else, and they was like, "Well, we can do that too."
Yeah,
no.
I don't know if that was him or the coach. I don't even care. It was bad. And the throw off his back feet, like Chris Jones brought pressure up the middle, and he was throwing on his back feet, and it was a bad throw regardless because you're throwing into double coverage because you had the safety over there in the corner. You shouldn't have threw that ball anyway. I don't know if you were trying to place it on the outside to where it'll either hit his fingers or go out of bounds or whatever. You shouldn't have. It was a bad throw. Pressure bust pipe, and it burst his. But those were 2 bad plays by him. We can't deny it. But at the same time, if you compare that to what we saw with Mahomes, it's gonna look awful. So and I'm not gonna excuse him for those. Those were horrible. But I also know what else I see on that field. And Herbert, to a certain degree, can't elevate when he loses certain guys like Keenan Allen that was out and Mike Williams. We saw that he's very hampered, but we also kind of see that with Aaron Rodgers this year. So
look, quarterbacks always need guys, right? And we question how great Mahomes and Kelsey could be without Tyreek Hill. That has been answered. Take away Kelsey. Mahomes, I still think is great. But he don't make it look that easy going against the Chargers without Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a question mark. Does he even win that game without Kelsey? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we can't question the greatness of Mahomes because we done seen it too many times. So Mahomes is solidified. Herbert is still trying to establish that solidification because these are games you shouldn't lose. You shouldn't have lost the first game against the Chiefs.
No.
You should have
You should've
swept the
won
Chiefs.
this. Yeah, you should have won this one.
What's the narrative if Herbert sweeps the Chiefs? Well, shit, maybe he's arrived.
He ready. He here. And I think everybody made up the point. Schemes are very important now. To Q's point, like we are getting to a phase, and they're even saying this in the chat, where the quarterback isn't as vital in winning the football game.
100.
However, if you have a Patrick Mahomes, that's when it matters. Like I can beat you with 16 seconds left and only making 2 throws against Buffalo, or I can beat you when I haven't been doing anything against the Titans, but I need a 9-yard run and y'all expecting me to pass. I think that's where it comes into play, and that's why Patrick Mahomes is head and shoulders above everyone else, because just his football IQ, and when those key moments are up, he knows what to do.
Yeah, and if CD is, and I'm probably with you, CD. Like, and I think this play illustrates the difference between the two players. If that indeed was Herbert just taking off on his own because it was cover 2, and he thought
they was going to be open,
and he saw Mahomes do the same thing, and he tried to do it too, it shows you the difference between the two.
The talent level.
One could do it and one can't.
And make it look easy.
You know, and made it look easy. So maybe he thought he could do it. Herbert got a little wheels, I guess. You know, but
man,
you ain't Mahomes, bro. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So sit your ass down, throw the ball away. You got two downs. He never should have thrown that second pass. You got 2 more downs to get in the field goal range, but he did, and it is what it is. My whole thing, I ain't sitting here caping. I don't come in this program caping for Herbert. We rarely ever talk about it. I'm just saying that I'm not down on him the way the rest of everybody else are right now. Everybody's kind of turning on him, and but I'm not there yet.
I think
I'm not gonna cape.
I think he's hurt, and I think he has a bad coaching staff.
And me and Spike spoke about this before the season started. Love the rosters, the Chargers roster. Question mark with the coach.
Staley's
from the beginning.
Stealing money from the Chargers. Stealing money from the Chargers.
Who's worse, him or McDaniels? I think McDaniels.
McDaniels by far. Yeah.
At least McDaniels bounced back from last.
No, hell no.
Saturday.
No, sir.
No,
sir.
Look.
That was the Denver Broncos.
The reason why I say Josh McDaniels is because even though Staley has lost games he shouldn't have lost, it doesn't look as bad as the Raiders.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like again, like I said, in my opinion, the Chargers played good enough to beat the Chiefs twice. The difference in both of those games was Mahomes, right? So, you know, you have a semblance of what you want to do and how you want to get it done. The Raiders look like just like a club. Like, what the hell is?
I was just about to say that, as you were saying. If I'm Staley, at least I can say, hey, man, at least my guys were hurt. Like, they've been hurt, like, for the last 2 years, regardless of the bad decision or the timing or whatever, they've been hurt. With McDaniels, you can't pinpoint what it is that makes them so bad, because even with the receiver, we were talking about him not getting his looks. He's at 9 touchdowns. He's second in the league in touchdown passes. Then we say, well, Carr's not the answer. And then my man Jacobs, he's doing his part. So what is the problem?
Yep. I don't know, man. It's bad.
And it doesn't make sense. It's more defense than anything else for them, and they don't have no continuity on that team whatsoever. It's ugly. But we can at least say Staley did beat Patrick Mahomes last year. And, you know, Herbert played better. He was better last year, a couple of those games. Not a better player, of course, but he played better in those games is what I'm saying. So in saying that, I don't, like Ken said, this man has played without his number 1 wide receiver all year long. He's had a lot to deal with, and it does not excuse his play, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, come on, man, let's see you get going. And we've seen what it's like to play without a number 1. We saw Joe Burrow struggle a little bit. But
we've seen him struggle without his number 1, absolutely. Before we get into the picks for the week, we want to talk about the Eagles. Sheldon's team. You ain't got no Eagle stuff on, Sheldon? You good?
No, I ain't got
good. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Before we get into it, the last couple of weeks, the Eagles have kind of struggled. They lost last week. They win 17-16 versus the Colts this week. Q, I want to start with you, Mr. Philadelphia himself. Is the honeymoon over for the Eagles, or are you fully confident in them the rest of the way?
I was never fully confident in him to begin with. So that's number one. And then number two, have they struggled? Have they been a little bit exposed? No, because I think anybody who been watching the Eagles should know that they could have been run on pretty much since week 2. If you watch the games, anybody who was the Eagles fan saw that. So for me, I'm not really looking at this like a sign of a downfall or anything. I think that there's a lot of things to build on. I think Jalen Hurts, once again, has shown for the last 4 weeks that he's not the issue. That man has done his job every single time they've called on him. He stepped up to the plate and delivered like a grown-ass man. So I appreciate that. I don't really like our defensive coordinator at all. I think he calls really weird plays. Fletcher Cox is washed up. I've been saying that for about 2-3 years now. Jordan Davis needs to take his spot. Miles Sanders needs to get probably 10 more touches than he does a game. And they need to throw to Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins more because they're doubling A.J. Brown. And it's just one of those things, man, where I can't say that the league is, in a spot where if the Eagles won the next 3 games, I would be infinitely more confident than I am now. It's just, once again, it's a pick 'em type of league. So if we get to the playoffs and we're on a hot streak, I'll feel good about the chance, but there's no guarantees anymore in this NFL. It never really has been, but especially now.
Sheldon, how did you feel about your mans after this game? I know you went, just to give the people a little insight on the chat, you ran to the chat at the end of this game to say Sheldon ran to the chat to say that Hurts improved himself, and how does he look in the clutch now?
I didn't say nothing.
I feel a little light.
I said all that. I thought all I said was Jalen.
You said that. I just want to know how you feel about Hurts after a 17-16 victory against the Colts in week whatever this is, 10.
I felt really good about this victory because it answered a couple of the questions that we still had. Especially Ken. Ken brought up the point that he'd like to see what Hurts did with his back against the wall, and he proved he could do it. He did it on the road. But more than anything, we talk about that running game being exposed. I felt good about the new additions, Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. I couldn't believe how well that they played for them not to have played any football all year. I don't know if y'all watched them. That first drive was masterful by the coach. Coach walked down the field. But after that, Taylor was on his last 15 carries, he only got 35 yards, and them boys shut it down. And them boys was in the middle. They was tight in that middle. So Ndamukong Suh is who we thought he was. And the same thing with Joseph. So I give them a lot of props for the way they played. And Davis has been out, and I think he's going to be out one more game. My fear was realized Goddard means more to that team than you could ever know. He's probably one of the MVPs on offense because he's a safety valve. And without him, it wasn't smooth at all. You saw 3 penalties in a row on tight ends, not named Goddard. That wouldn't have been in the game if he was out on that one drive. They were driving, and the drive just went automatically in reverse from penalties. So it's saying that was my fear, and it still is, that these backup tight ends can't hold up their end of the bargain. But they are who they've been being all this time. Just a matter of keeping it going.
Just real quick before we get FIFO and Ken's thoughts on the Eagles in this victory, Sheldon, did Jalen Hurts fall in his top 3 quarterback ranking in your eyes from these last weeks? Or did this prove more so?
Absolutely not. It should have proved even more so. Once again, you got to look at the quarterback.
I figured
you laughed about that.
I figured you say that. So let me toss it right over to
what
FIFO.
would you? What? No. What would you want me to say? Let me answer that. Let me answer that question. Unlike your quarterback, who can't close the game, mine can, and he proved it. There you go. Once again, what more do you want him to do? You want him to close the game, all right? He didn't go out there and turn the ball all over. He went out there doing all kind of crazy stuff.
He did his job.
He did his job. That's what he's supposed to do.
If you're comfortable with that taking you to the Super Bowl, then that's fine with me. As a Cowboys,
the only thing Q said it best. He did his job, and you can't say that for a lot of the other QBs in the league. We talk about Patrick Mahomes being separate. He is, but if we take Patrick Mahomes out of the equation, you look at those other quarterbacks, you're not gonna find a whole bunch
Do you
of
know
them
what? Do you know what?
that's doing their
Sean,
job like that.
I want to before FIFO goes. I want to say this that one thing that I think needs to be understood about Jalen Hurts and quarterbacks like him, everything I've just been talking about with the league getting better. Jalen Hurts is in probably one or two besides Mahomes, maybe Mahomes, Rodgers, and Brady. Right? Those are probably the three. In the last minute of a game, there's only one other QB besides those three I feel confident in to actually have a chance to deliver a touchdown. And I think that Jalen Hurts deserves that to be that fourth QB. There's nobody else who I'm really confident in that I would bet my money on to deliver us in the last minute. And I think that has to be said for something because if a team can get you close enough to close like that, and Jalen doesn't really flinch, even last year in his first season where he didn't have good mechanics, when it was time for a last drive, this dude knows how to extend a play. He knows how to make a play. So I appreciate that, and I think that has to be, something that's given to him, dude, because he walked right down the field when we needed it. Like, we needed the whole 7. We didn't even need a field goal. We didn't need to just get a first down, move the sticks. We had to go the full way, and he knew how to move the sticks. So that has to be said, and he does that routinely for us. So.
And I was impressed even more. And I'm sorry, we get you 2-4. I'm sorry about that. But the drive before that, with the pass to Quez Watkins, we talk about dropping dimes. It was a dime. Did you see that pass to Quez Watkins?
Yeah.
So in saying that, when you needed them to step up, and they were driving the ball a couple of times, it wasn't like that offense was just horrible. And I said the same thing, Q. A couple of those close third downs, they would run that RPO, and I'm like, why are they trying to run Gainwell up the middle? It was play calling on a couple of those. It was nothing to do with quarterback play. It was 3rd and 2, and you're running Gainwell. Mm-hmm. That don't make sense. And they did that 3 times. And 3 times they went to the RPO. And part of that's on Jalen, of course, because he's the one that has to make the decision. Mm-hmm. But all 3 times, the back got the ball, and all 3 times that defensive line stuffed him. So in saying that, no, it doesn't do anything.
On RPO, right? Who making the decision, you said?
Jalen did. That's what I said. I said that's on Jalen. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That was on him.
People, what say you about Jalen Hurts? Yeah. What say you about Jalen Hurts these last 2 weeks?
We were filming Dead End, and I try to watch as much red zone as I possibly can. And them boys were struggling. Now, Shelton, you see who bounced.
Shelton left. He don't even want to hit it.
I'm here. Now I just had to move the camera. That's all. I'm here. I'm listening. I ain't go. Hey, look. I have no reason to run. Did you see the game? That's all I got to say. If you saw the game, not red zone. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go ahead. Okay, good.
He did his job because he won the game, right?
Yes,
he won the game, and he's one of the most winningest quarterbacks this season, right? And he's a big part of that. But when you struggle like that, to me, that it just says a lot. Some of the things that you've been saying, you don't trust him, this, that, and the third. Now, I did have him, third in my MVP voting based off of, the success of the team. He's still there for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't love him, but he is a main reason why they are winning games, right? And it's not because of the ability a la Pat Mahomes or even a Justin Herbert. Scheme plays a lot of into why the Eagles are as dominant as they have. Now, I think part of it is defense is catching up. They're seeing it. Like, okay, cool. We can scheme a little bit better for it now. But to me, it's this. And I understand it's Mahomes and everybody else. However, it's that unwavering confidence of knowing that the guy that you have under center is can will you to that win. I don't have that confidence in Jalen Hurts. So to me, when you struggle through 3 quarters like they did as an offense to move the ball, and then they went for it on a crazy 4th and 10, like in the middle of the field. So to me, a lot of those things put into question. See, because if you have a quarterback that you have that unwavering confidence, punt the ball. I don't give a damn. We'll stop you. If you score, that's cool. We're going to get the ball back and go. That says a lot without saying something. You know what I'm saying? So to me, he's on watch.
On watches is strong. I agree.
That is strong for a quarterback that's 12 out of 13.
I'm glad
what other
that we set
quarterback
the
is 12 out of
precedent.
13?
I'm glad that we set the precedent early in the show talking about Patrick Mahomes. Because now we can say when you looking at a quarterback, you can tell the differences between somebody like Patrick Mahomes and then Jalen Hurts, who, in my opinion, and I've been saying it all year, he's a game manager. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. That's not a diss to him. He's just not Patrick Mahomes. Like, I wouldn't be scared to give Jalen Hurts the ball if I was up 4 points and he had a minute to score. I don't care if he got 3 timeouts. I don't care. Because I don't think that he's going to be able to make the correct decisions all the way down the field to win the game. Now, if we're talking about kicking the ball to Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, I feel differently about that. I don't think that I don't think that he's in that. He ain't right there yet. Now, he does exactly what he needs to do to win football games, and that's commendable. However, there is no fear in my heart for Jalen Hurts.
Let me ask you this.
I don't think you have to fear him. I just think you got to respect it.
And that's a good point, because you're right. He can still win a Super Bowl without me fearing him as a Cowboys fan. He can definitely go out there and do that.
Right.
And so I don't want people to think that it's a diss and I'm disrespecting Jalen Hurts. However, if I'm down, if I'm up 4 points and I got to punt him the ball with a minute left, I ain't that scared.
I feel you. So let me ask you this, right? And we're gonna bring up another quarterback that we've been talking about during this telecast. Jalen Hurts or Kirk Cousins?
Give me Black.
That was the only reason I was thinking.
Jalen can at least run the ball. Kirk can't run the ball.
Exactly. Kirk Cousins ain't got no legs. So I would have to go with Jalen. Even though I feel like that Kirk Cousins maybe could get the ball. Like, I'm not, because if I got Jalen Jefferson out there, I don't want Hurts running the ball. I want him to get the ball to Jefferson.
I feel that, but it makes the Vikings. It adds another dynamic to that offense.
If they had him,
exactly. And then if you put Kirk Cousins over with the Eagles, they could throw the ball a little bit more.
AJ Brown is a better.
Yeah,
maybe Devontae Smith gets into it more. Of course,
but are they that much better?
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, when I'm looking at those quarterbacks and I'm evaluating them like that, Jalen Hurts, I'd rather have Jalen over Kirk.
Yeah, but Kirk is like this. If we're talking about the top 16 and Hurts and Cousins are both in there, Cousins at the bottom of those 16.
Oh yeah. They're toward the middle of the group.
Agreed.
I have a question though. I just got a question though. When has Kirk Cousins routinely in the fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts threw for 79 passing yards, 8 for 11. He ran for 51 yards on 9 runs. He had 130 total yards and 2 total TDs. I feel like that's at least enough to begin to feel like we can respect this man as a clutch performer, because when it came down to last year against the Buccaneers, we lost because Tom Brady got the ball back. Jalen Hurts went right down the field, even when he couldn't throw for shit. And I said he couldn't throw for shit. He just has an intangible, almost damn near like a Tebow thing going on about him, dude. And if you kind of give him that and add in an actual capable NFL thrower now, which I've been seeing, you have to kind of give some respect that you can't just punt this dude the ball back and not be like, damn, he can run for 6 yards and then sneak the ball across the line in the QB sneaker for 3rd and 1, then throw a 20-yard to AJ Brown and then get a 20-yard defensive pass interference and then punch the ball in. You win games like that. So I think that it has to be at least given the proper light, dude. And I'm not a Jalen Hurts stan, bro, but I'm an Eagles fan. I understand when a dude is playing the actual game. He's doing way more than a lot than what I've seen from Justin Herbert. But like Herbert every week. So
I was gonna say, and I'm trying to think of when Dak led Dallas on a winning drive. Ever.
Don't do that. Dak got plenty of winning drives. However, with that being said, Dak and Jalen are the same quarter. One ain't much
they're
better.
Not the same. No, they're absolutely not the same, bro. And here's the difference. The difference is one of them.
Wait. Who do you think is better?
No, here's the difference. You see, y'all look at it from arm talent. You look at it from certain things like that. I look at it from moxie, how you play the game, and the ability of your team to have your back and your confidence behind you to get it done. And I told y'all, it's bigger than just football.
You think Jalen Hurts is better than Dak Prescott?
You see it.
I'm asking.
You seen it. Which one? Who's won the most games in the past 13 games out of any quarterback in the NFL?
Basing it off just this year, you're telling me this.
I'm talking about just
Because
this year and last year.
Career-wise,
We're talking about this year and
Dak
last year.
Prescott is a better quarterback. Like
We're
Dak
talking about
Prescott,
this year and last year.
They
We're
had
talking about
number
this
one
year and
offense
last
in
year.
the league last year.
This going back to last year too, and it didn't show up, and we were in the same place in the playoffs. That's my point. Dak is a decent quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but the criticism you put on Hurts really needs to be looking at Dak, because I'm telling you, Dak got to prove it. You know, we can't take this last week and put them in the Super Bowl.
That ain't necessarily mean I'm a Dak Prescott fan. So I agree with you. Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. Dak may be slightly better. They may be the same on some Sundays. It ain't. It's very close. I ain't saying that Dak just head and shoulders above Jalen, but that ain't a lot either.
I'll tell you why Jalen is head and shoulders above Dak, because if Jalen needs to use his legs,
he's head and shoulders above him,
and he makes better decisions. There you go. So yeah,
absolutely not. You telling me this based off of 10 games, 11 games in this season?
Jalen does not make. I'm talking about this season and last. So Jalen does not make better decisions with the football than Dak.
No, he don't.
Okay.
And he doesn't have to make the same decisions that Dak makes. Jalen is his offense and what they give to him is very watered down. Bro, all you got to do is get in here and don't make mistakes. We don't want you to make plays. You ain't got to do too much because we don't know if you can. All you need to do is what we tell you to do. Dak running a completely different offense. We want you to make
pretty
plays.
complicated to me.
Dallas asked Dak to win games. Philadelphia wouldn't dare ask Jalen Hurts to win a football game. Maybe we want you to win this drive.
Okay. No.
If you're talking about winning a football game 40-3 like they did against the Vikings last week, Jalen Hurts can't do that.
What you just said killed your credibility, bro. You just said they don't ask them to win games. You can go on to the next part because that just kills it right there. And by the way, Dak got more interceptions.
I'm just gonna take that as I was right, Joe. I don't care how you meant it. I'm just gonna take that as I was right.
You were absolutely wrong. How many games has Dak played this year?
All but 3 of them. So
I thought he missed 4 games, but he has more interceptions than Jalen, right?
Yeah, I know he leads.
He got more turnovers.
I understand he leads the league in scoring too. So he's taking more opportunities. He's going to have more interceptions. Yeah, they're asking him to do more, so he's going to have more mistakes. Yes, I understand.
No,
thank you.
No.
Hurts to Heineke from Josh Bros. Hurts, bro.
Oh wow.
Heineke. That's
Heineke on the road, bro.
Heineke asking that question about Dak.
Come on, Heineke on the road, bro. Heineke or Dak is the more bigger question for me.
You don't even sound right.
You know, we were recording that Sunday. People had mentioned it a few times, and people told me, like, man, the Eagles look bad. They're struggling. And I told people, I ain't worried about it. I said they can come back and win that game. They play because I was like, who they playing? He said the Colts. I was like, they can go back and win that game.
And Matt Ryan was the quarterback.
It's the fucking Colts.
Yeah. And number Jeff Saturday's their coach.
Yeah, but I'm not going to discredit his comeback from winning that game.
He did his job.
You know, I think that says something when you struggle for 3 quarters and you can turn it on and win when your team needs you the most. That was a quarterback that did that last year. He won a Super Bowl. He did it 3-4 times in the playoffs. And he played bad through stretches of that game. But when the team needed him the most, when he needed to make plays, he made the plays to win the game. Jalen Hurts did that. And I can't knock him for that. You have to be able to come adversity, and sometimes you have to be able to come your own adversity. And sometimes you have to be able to pick up the team and lift the team when everybody else is wet in the fucking bed. So I'm going to give him his props for doing that. And that was the one thing that we haven't seen. And yeah, it's the fucking Colts, but you're supposed to be able to come back and win against teams like the Colts. You know, you're supposed to, if you are a better, superior team, you should be able to turn it on in the 4th quarter, be like, all right, you know what, enough's enough. Let's come back and win because we shouldn't even be in this situation from in the beginning. Yeah. Against better opponents, certain type of quarterbacks, it may be a little bit more difficult. But, you know, maybe they play down to the level of competition. But Shelton said they shut down Jonathan Taylor for the rest. So the defense did their job to give Jalen Hurts the opportunity to do what he needed to do to win the game. So I give that brother his props.
I will give him his props as well as a game manager, Shelton. Let's get into these picks as we go to the rest of the topics. First pick, man, Thanksgiving games this week, man. I always enjoyed my Cowboys to get to do that Thanksgiving thing. So we'll start there. Giants versus the Cowboys. Shelton,
what was the picks for last week?
Oh, my bad. My bad. Absolutely right. Last week, we had Shelton. You picked the Titans. You picked the Bears. You picked New England, Dallas, Kansas City.
Well, I think you could probably just give just
overall,
update. Overall, and then update the record. Yeah.
That is not on here. Hold on, let me look.
Oh, well, Nick's slipping.
Yeah, he is slipping. He had an overall records for the week. So let me add these up while we talk.
While you doing that, I'll hit some of these super chats then, sir. Rob Costa, top of the evening, everyone. Guess I'm bringing back some CFL talk. Shout out to my Toronto Argos for winning the Grey Cup. Was a great, hard-fought game against the Winnipeg team going for the three-peat. Somebody asked if we were going to discuss the World Cup on here. Absolutely not. But,
nobody care about that shit.
But I would definitely like to get into some of that. Man, Twitter was lit up when the USA was playing yesterday, even though they went. I think they ended up losing that game. Let's see another one here. I'll get to that one after the show. Igwe, besides Mahomes and Kelsey, who are top 5 QB and wide receiver or tight end duo in the league?
Tua and both of them.
Mm.
Hey, y'all better be scared now. Nick, where you at? Cause them boys is for real. But obviously Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Okay, that's a good one. What about Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson?
You're funny.
Wilson and Wilson. Now that law firm might be out of business.
You got Dak and CD in there?
No.
Nah.
Damn. We need two more.
Burrow and Chase when he
yeah.
The only reason I didn't count them because he was hurt. But yeah, I didn't know if he meant now but yeah, you got to still count them.
Yeah. That obviously Mahomes and Kelsey, but that's about it. Like,
would you still count? Did y'all say Josh Allen and Diggs?
Yeah,
I did. Josh Allen and Diggs, Jamar and Joe. I said Tua and pick one. It don't matter. That's about it.
That's crazy.
Tweets open doors. Hurts and AJ. Yes.
Because there's other teams that have either a great quarterback and no, wide receiver, or a great wide receiver and no great quarterback. Because Devontae and Derek Carr, like, hell no, because of Derek Carr. Debo, hell no, because of Jimmy G. And
Debo been struggling.
He's been hurt too.
Okay.
And he got paid, so sometimes he like, man, I'm good at
the
bank.
So yeah, we got up to 4. Okay. And apparently they tied yesterday. I'm gonna read the other one. Antoine 721. People will blame Kingsbury, and rightfully so. He is trash, but Larry Fitzgerald having nothing positive to say about Kyler on the post-game broadcast is very telling. Kyler is not a leader and is overpaid. Oh, Kyler on watch?
Yeah.
He is.
Well, he's been in his defense, he's missed the last 2 games with an injury, but that program is a mess. I don't know. That's why I was telling. Well, yeah, he wasn't playing well before anyway, but a lot of that's on Kingsbury. But I get it. A lot of it.
Yeah, I get yeah.
I'm interested.
Is a factor. Kyler hasn't helped himself this year to separate his gameplay from the coach. Now they're sort of starting to be lumped in together because we haven't seen him overcome the deficiencies of Kingsbury as a coach. Plus, Hopkins missed 6 games, so there are some things there that we could, if we want, make excuses for him. But yeah, it's not looking good. And so yeah, damn, that's crazy. Josh Rose, Pickett is a noodle arm Carson Wentz for real. Damn, bro. He mad about Zach Wilson, man. Dang.
Oh man. That's a good one.
Yeah, so somebody mentioned Lamar. Well, Igwe, he has an agenda he's pushing. He said Lamar and Mark Andrews. So yeah.
Did y'all see Lamar and Mark Andrews against the Panthers though? That was a horrible game. And I can't. That was a Lamar, and that's what I was going to ask y'all. What's up with that? Lamar threw for 209 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. They did score a touchdown late, but the defense put them in the red zone. That was just an ugly game on both sides of the ball, and I was wondering if y'all saw that.
Nah.
Oh, okay. DeMarcus Robinson had a breakout game, but other than that, nobody did nothing.
I guess while we're still here, Q, there was where is it? Somebody Black Sunday. Say, how about them Sixers? LMAO.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Q. Did you just see it?
Yeah.
I got the records ready.
Yeah, the Brooklyn. Yeah.
Q. I know you ain't happy about it, but I'm telling you, man. I told you addition by subtraction. I think the Sixers are gonna do okay. Now, missing all 3 of their stars ain't no good, but when you take James Harden out of that mix, I kind of like this lineup. And the beat Ben Simmons is always great.
Yeah, no, definitely. Brooklyn's a mess, man. It's just I don't really know what to think about this season right now because all of our guys are hurt, so I don't really have much for it. But yeah, I love to see us win, I guess.
I tell you what, it's easier to move that ball, and they have a lot less commotion. Tobias Harris was on a mission tonight.
Yeah, he needs to get on a mission on another team. He needs to do that on another team because I need a whole new roster. We need so much more youth on the wing right now. But I like to see when guys like Shea Milton and D'Anthony Melton and whatnot, those guys. So good little win, man. Don't really know what this means until we get, like I said, the guys back. But if we can build on it, that'd be cool.
All right, I got the picks in and ready to roll. Before we get into the picks for next week, Sheldon, you went 6-1. Ken, you went 4-3. Foe, you went 3-4. I went 6-1, and Nick went 3-4 as well. So a solid week overall, kind of average week.
It's my first losing week.
It is. You've been on a roll.
I tried to tell you, FIFO, to stick with your boy. I was telling you which ways to go. You just didn't want to listen to me.
Was that the Green Bay game?
The Green Bay game, the fucking Bears game, and the damn Jets.
Yeah, the Jets.
The goddamn
Jets.
I
told you not to bet on the Jets.
Yeah, Sheldon, the only one that picked the Pats in that game.
I didn't pick the Pats?
You picked actually, no, you did. I'm
sorry. I was about to say.
One of your victories. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Me, Sheldon, and Ken, the only one that picked the Pats.
Zach Wilson and the bench is going to be a fire duo. Signed Josh Bros.
Josh Bros. He's pissed off. We praying for you, Josh. Thoughts and prayers to Josh Bros, man. So first pick.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. I'm surprised that this Josh Burrow stuff is just coming out. What his name? Zach Wilson. Why did he? Has he been talking trash all this time and they just hearing about it? Because he's been bad. So why are they so mad now?
Who? Why the Jets fans so mad?
No, why the team is mad like that? Like what? Like he's always had that attitude. He's always been this guy. What happened? I guess they were supposed to win that game Sunday, and they just got fed.
They were frustrated. Probably the frustration boiling over from, like you said, him always doing that and them thinking that he would take some type of accountability now since they're so late in the season and they've got to know each other more. That's what I would think. But yeah, it is a great question though as to why they would get so frustrated with it now. All right, Thanksgiving games. We're going into the picks for week 12. Man, we got the Cowboys and the Giants. That should be an enjoyable matchup finally on Thanksgiving Day for the Cowboys. I'll start with you, Shelton, since you're the first name on the list. Who you got?
Give me Dallas. Is that game? Wait, is this game in New York or in Dallas?
Always in Dallas on Thanksgiving, baby.
Okay, yeah.
We'll leave Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Hey, do y'all get the Giants a pass based off the fact that he ain't got no wide receivers?
A pass for what?
Daniel Jones. Does he get? I hope he don't, but does he get a pass for y'all?
I like his nickname, the Vanilla Vic. I heard Saquon Barkley calling him that. It's hilarious. But no, I'll give him a pass. I think most credit goes to Brian Daboll and the schemes and what he's doing to get Saquon Barkley in open field and put themselves or the team in position to win games despite the lack of quarterback talent that they have. Even if they did have good receivers, who gonna throw them the ball?
That's true.
Who? Cowboys and who?
Cowboys, Giants, Thanksgiving Day. Ken, who you got?
Cowboys.
All right.
Giants are done. Their run is over.
I agree.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
And I will also take Dallas. Nick took the Giants.
Of course.
Put that out there. Also, we got the Bengals going to Tennessee playing the Titans this week. Sheldon, who you got?
Ooh. Give me the Titans.
Give you the Titans, man.
Titans and who?
The Bengals.
Bengals for me.
FIFA.
Is Jamar back?
I do not
That's
think
what I was
so.
going to ask. I don't think so.
Come back to me.
Okay, I'm taking the Titans. As I come back to you and we work back to that, do you guys think that Tannehill is overrated or he's underrated?
Not rated.
Not rated at all.
Yeah. He's right where he's supposed to be. He's right there. Just middle. He's one of
my
those guys
issue
we
was when
talked
people
about.
were trying to hype Tannehill up a couple of years ago, and I was like, y'all, we need to stop.
I think he's the same quarterback that Jalen Hurts is. Brian Tannehill is Jalen Hurts.
Damn, what a nice. I see that. Okay. That was a nice setup, bro.
This man want everybody to be Jalen Hurts.
I definitely set that up, kid. You're right. But yeah, I think he's the same
I'll
quarterback
take
as
that.
Jalen Hurts. He won the division 2 years in a row, so ain't
I'll take it. That's why I say I'll take it. I'll take it. Whatever.
Give me the Titans.
Titans. Gotcha. I picked the Titans as well. Nick picked the Bengals, of course. 2 homers these last 2 picks. Next, for some reason, we are picking the Bears versus the Jets. Sheldon, who you got?
Oh wow. Ooh wee.
Oh my God.
That's an ugly game right there.
It's gonna be a really bad football game.
That's an ugly game.
Neither one of the teams is gonna be able to throw the ball, right? I don't know a receiver on either one of these.
We know Chase
Your
Claypool.
man got traded.
That's about it.
No, I know
Garrett
Mooney.
Wilson.
I don't know Mooney.
Wilson was the one that was mad about Zach. Yeah, he was the one complaining.
He a rookie and he talking shit.
Where
you
is
got?
this game at?
This game is in New York.
This is a tough one, bro. Come back to me on that because it's tough.
Okay, Ken, who you got?
This could be a game where they come out and kind of make amends for last Sunday, or everything that went down. The Jets, they're in more turmoil than the Bears.
Is Zach Wilson starting tonight?
Give me the Bears. I'm gonna bet on black with this one. I think there's some. I think Zach Wilson really fucked up with what he said.
Agreed. Sheldon and FIFO. I have the Bears as well. Ken has the Bears. Nick has the Bears.
Give me the Bears.
FIFO, who you got?
Man, give me the Jets, man.
I feel you, FIFO. I almost got there, bro.
2 times in a row, people. You didn't learn your lesson last week now.
Are you hoping that Zach Wilson does or doesn't start since you picked him?
I don't give a damn if Zach Wilson does or doesn't start.
You don't think it matters?
It does, but for me, that's not what swayed my pick. What swayed my pick is I think the Jets defense could slow up the Justin Fields run game. Yeah, I'm not going to say they're going to slow it down. I think Justin Fields is still going to have big plays. He's dynamic like that. but I don't think he could run wild on them like that. I think that's going to be a focus of theirs. So I think this is going to be more of a defensive game. I think the defense comes up big, and I think to what Ken was saying, internally, you got to get at Zach, bro. Like, hey, my nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?
Run up to him, take his little chain off
Yeah.
his neck and everything. Like, look,
Like you
hey,
ain't Kirk
little bro.
Cousins,
Right?
You
Little
ain't
bro,
earned
chill out,
shit.
little bro.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hey,
yeah,
but the only problem with that, which it's with this game, it could go either way. The only reason I picked the way I picked is you're right. That defense can't slow them down, but I have no faith in that New York offense whatsoever to put any points on the board. I give more credit to, but then again, is Fields playing? Because he did hurt his arm. Have y'all heard anything about Justin Fields?
No.
He was carted off or something the last game. I need to look that up because that might change everything.
Who did you say was carted off?
Justin
Fields was. I forgot he hurt his shoulder the last
I
game.
didn't see that. I thought.
Oh, we get a
on
right
the
to
last-
change our pick if that
Yeah, if
happens.
Justin Fields, this
Yeah.
game is null and void if Fields don't play because I definitely.
Yeah, he got hurt on the last drive. He hurt his arm. I forgot about that.
All right, the next game that we are picking is the Chargers versus the Cardinals. Don't blame me, blame Nick. I went ahead and put everybody's pick as the Chargers. Is there any objections to that?
no, there is not.
Like,
give me the Chargers.
hey man, if Kingsbury don't get fired after this year, we know what white man luck is all about. As Nick would say, man, like Jesus Christ.
Oh,
he's-
shit.
Have y'all started watching Hard Knocks?
Huh?
Uh-uh.
No. Has it,
So that's why I remember I was telling you that earlier.
Yeah.
Like this Hard Knocks is gonna show a lot. They fired one of the coaches he was all over the screen for episode 2. They fired him before the game. Something happened before the game, the offensive line coach, and they sent him home. So I don't know what happened. So I can't wait to
Right.
watch the next episode and see what went on.
Kingsbury is running a shit show down there. Did you see Kyler Murray on the sideline last night?
Mm-mm.
Bro, he looked like I would rather be anywhere in the world but right here, bro. Like Colt McCoy was coming over trying to talk to him. He was kind of like giving him the cold shoulder. Kingsbury got it.
Yeah.
They just re-signed
Yeah,
Murray.
Kyler.
Like,
He
there's
ain't
no.
going nowhere.
I don't see any way that he comes back.
So, Shelton, you're right. Fields suffered a left shoulder injury on the first play of the Bears' final drive in Atlanta. This is something that I'm going to pay attention to, though, because they sent a couple of plays to the NFL office that were not flagged that Justin Fields got hit on, and they're starting to kind of call that out and asking why is he treated differently than white
Sound like
quarterbacks.
Cam
Getting
Newton.
the Cam Newton.
Big Cam Newton treatment.
And yeah, so the team is speaking up. Players on the team are speaking up about it and stuff. Brisker was one. So yeah, this is something to watch.
Damn.
I mean, he's the only, like, if you look at that class, he's sitting. Some of those other ones are not.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's not good for the agenda, bro.
That's a fact. Damn. All right, next pick, Packers versus the Eagles. Sunday night game in Philly. Shelton, you're first.
Eagles.
Ken, who you got?
Packers.
FIFO.
Give me the Eagles.
I am taking the Packers 100%.
Is Dak Prescott starting the quarterback for us?
No, they got somebody worse. Jalen
It's-
Hurts.
I don't know if those receivers are going to be able to get open on those corners, bro,
For the New England.
for the Packers. But
I think Aaron Rodgers is mad. Every other week he can play.
well, he should have been mad last week. They
Every
lost
other
that
week, though,
game.
he old now. It ain't every week he can't give it to you. He can give it to you
Lost
every
to
other week.
Tannehill.
All right, next. Vikings get to redeem themselves. They got the Pats coming to town. Is Belichick going to shut Kirk Cousins down to do the Vikings bounce back? Sheldon.
Oh man, you said they're going to be in Minnesota?
Yes, sir.
Give me the Vikings.
Okay. Ken, who you got?
Pats.
FIFO.
Vikings.
I am taking the Pats as well.
Woo!
Yeah, I think Belichick coming to play.
I can't
Kirk got to
believe
get
now
this
you
out of
want
his
to get your
system for
Super
the
Bowl.
playoffs.
Your Super
They got to
Bowl
get it out of
pick
the system
now.
for the playoffs. Nick took the Vikings. Another one who I can just go ahead and fill everyone in. Rams versus Chiefs. Anybody think the Rams are going to win this football game?
Nah, the Rams.
That
The
shit gonna be a
Rams.
blowout.
Over for them. I ain't even got to
Yeah.
fill this out. Everybody took the Rams.
Cup hurt. Yeah, they got no
excuse me, the
receivers.
Chiefs. Everybody took the Chiefs. Yeah.
They polishing their rings, bro. They don't
Yeah.
give a fuck about this season.
I know. What's their coach name? McVay. His agent is fielding calls for TV gigs next year.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll definitely be on TV, and then he'll come back to coaching a year later.
Yeah, in a couple
He's
of
done.
years he'll come back. Like you said, once a good quarterback get in the league that he feel like he won't, he'll come back and coach. But he done for.
It's
All right,
hard to
lad.
believe how far this team fell, though.
It's almost like they don't give a fuck.
It feels like
It feels like it almost seems as if every week they out there like, man, I do not care, bro.
I know they don't care now. It's definitely over now. I think when Jalen Ramsey, when there was a game that Jalen Ramsey, when they felt like they could win and Jalen Ramsey called them out, I think
it was over
at that point, it was over after that. At that point, I thought they still felt like they could salvage the season. But after they lost that game, he called them out. It's been a wrap.
And then once like response to that, they didn't ask. They didn't ask
Bro,
McVay about it. Don, nobody said.
We haven't
about
heard
it, just kept
from
it moving.
anybody. Cup hurt. We haven't heard from McVay. Stafford got hurt. He missed game. He got a concussion.
Nobody
he missed game.
said anything.
He hurt
they
again.
released
He
him.
was hurt
They
during the
released.
season. We haven't heard shit from fucking Aaron Donald.
And this is LA. This
No,
LA, bro.
they released.
I asked myself last week. I was like, bro, is Aaron Donald playing?
Yeah,
he's still making plays, but they released Henderson today, the leading rusher. They released him outright today, so they mailing it in.
Hey,
So
they
gonna
booking their trips to Cancun and making sure that they good for the offseason.
Yeah,
Last
it's over
pick
with.
this week, man, we got the Ravens versus the Jaguars. Sheldon, who you see taking this?
In Jacksonville?
It is in Jacksonville.
See, my heart says the
Jacksonville,
Ravens.
who?
My mind saying the Jack.
Ravens
Where they playing?
in Jacksonville.
See, my heart says the Ravens, but my mind says Jacksonville.
Yeah, give me the Ravens. Lamar back home in Florida. Yeah. Give me the Ravens.
I will take the Ravens as well. I don't think they're gonna lose no more this season.
Damn.
I hope not.
I'm going Jags.
Sheldon, who'd you say? Your heart said one, your mind said another.
Who? Man,
I took
give
Baltimore.
Give me the Ravens. Lamar got
all right. Picks are in. Nick took Kansas City on that last one as well, of course, and also took Baltimore on this one. Super chats?
Yeah. We so we kind of been reading them as the show went on. We'll try to read those in real time while we're talking about a specific subject. But yeah, we got one more. Antoine 721. Detroit is a plus 9.5. Detroit 9.5 is a great play Thanksgiving Day. Them boys are playing hard for Dan Campbell. Wouldn't shock me if they upset the Bills. And Aldrin J, Sacramento Kings making the playoffs this season. So yeah.
They won their 7th in a row today.
Yeah, they're rolling.
Yeah, they did. They're actually rolling. That trade, I was with everybody else, trading Halliburton, but I wasn't as far. I don't know if y'all remember, but I wasn't quite as far away on it. But it's looking good right now. Them keeping, what's his name? Point guard Fox. Yeah, them keeping Fox has not looked that bad. He played awesome tonight.
Yeah, but Fox can play though. It wasn't really a knock on whether Fox could play. It's just like, damn, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like Halliburton, is skilled. It just, I don't know. It just looks bad because of how great Halliburton is playing. Another double-digit assist game and all that. The other thing is, I think we were doing. I don't know know if FIFA and you and I were talking or whatnot, but I was like, man, AD needs to go back to just being New Orleans AD, and he's been doing that, and they won these games. And he's hurt tonight, but since he's taken over and LeBron's been out, he's just giving the ball.
Question for y'all about Fox, because he just took. Hold on. Go ahead.
Another key piece to the whole Laker thing, Russ accepting that 6-man role a little bit more. You look at the numbers that he's putting up, and it makes sense for him to come off the bench only because of the 2 stars. If he doesn't, his game doesn't mesh with the 2 stars. And like I've always said, it's about who finishes the game, not who starts the game. Damn, there was another point I was gonna make.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're playing better, guys. Don't and I haven't looked at the chat to see what y'all saying, but I'm not here saying the Lakers going to turn around and get to the playoffs. No, I'm just saying that I've just noticed that since he's taken over and been more aggressive, they've looked a lot better. Having a dominant guy out there, and everybody feeding off of him.
Fox switched representation. Even if they get good, do you think he still may leave? He would clutch now. They say you sign clutch when you're trying to get traded.
Oh, shit. I don't know. It depends on how this thing goes. Sacramento's been terrible as an organization.
You sign with clutch when you're trying to get the bag. Does everybody remember the name Eric Bledsoe? Mm-hmm. He got the bag. He didn't get traded. He got traded after he got the bag because he wasn't worth the bag no more.
Yeah.
So
you think they're gonna get? He trying to get paid?
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. He's trying to get paid.
Yeah. And he's in the right place.
Yeah, last 3 games for Ben been all right.
Yeah, it's coming around. It's coming around. It's not all there yet, but it's statistically it's coming around.
Still averages 7 points a game.
He is, but something feels a little bit different. So we'll see.
And it looks a little bit different. The first couple of games of the season, he didn't look spry. That's the best way I could put it.
Uninterested is what he looked.
Very uninterested. He didn't look like he didn't move on the court with a purpose. It looks like he has some more purpose now, and he's not being as passive. I think to me the height of the passiveness was when Kyrie drove the lane against Milwaukee, dropped it off, and Ben had a layup and he threw it back. And I'm like, what is you doing?
He's putting up Ben Simmons numbers over the last 3 games.
Yeah, he has. He has.
We killed him. I'm gonna at least acknowledge that.
100.
He can go back to being what he was, but at least now it's turned around. Last thing, the college football, and we don't have to spend a lot of time here, but it was a lot of scares this week. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU are still on top. I have a sneaky feeling, because it always happens, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to lose, and Alabama's going to find a way into the playoffs.
I thought so, man. I thought it was going to be this weekend because I've been saying that this whole time, and a couple of those games came down to the wire, and they snuck them out. But I thought we was going to see Alabama for sure,
especially after Tennessee got handled, and Alabama and Clemson are both up at 7 and 8 too, bro. Yeah, it's possible.
It's definitely possible. That Tennessee game was hard.
This weekend, they'll cancel each other out. So one of them will fall out.
One of those could be good losses, though.
Oh, yeah. I think Ohio State will go Michigan.
I think so, too. I felt bad for Tennessee, though. Hooker, man. Shout out to Hendon Hooker. He's out. He tore his ACL in that Carolina game. Huh?
Just trading on South Carolina like that felt bad for Tennessee?
Oh, I Hendon Hooker, a black quarterback. But I'm with him all day long. So I'm thinking about him on the next level, and him being hurt, that hurt my feelings because that's going. But that once again, we already talked about the fact that they were talking about his age, dropping him in the draft. Now they're talking. Now this happens and it hurts his draft stock. So he just hurt his pockets, and I hate that in a game that didn't have to go that way.
Yeah, if LSU, I think
was about to say that. Watch Alabama sneaking in, but also watch LSU sneaking in because if they win the SEC championship, they got a real shot to get.
Yeah, and if LSU and USC went out, then there won't be any issues. Alabama won't be in a title game, so I think that'll really hurt their chances. Clemson, I think they do get a title game, so they can win that.
They played North Carolina, so North Carolina lost last week, so that's a bad loss.
But still, I think they like those title games, winning, so that could help them leapfrog Alabama since they won't have an extra game on the books.
I think the best four would be Ohio State, USC, LSU. I don't think TCU is good. Georgia,
I don't
excuse
either.
me. Yeah, I don't think TCU. Georgia, LSU, Ohio State, USC.
Drink more water. You're right. No 2-loss team has made the playoffs, but this committee, they love Alabama, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And they, if history doesn't hold true, it will hold true because of this reason right there. You know, they would love to get them in there because them guys spend money and they travel. So yeah, that's all I got. Because them guys spend money and they travel. All right. Man, there we go. Said it twice. Well, we thank you guys for joining us once again. There will be no Thursday show. We are on the holiday break. And what else? Yeah, that's it. I will be back Tuesday. So everybody have a great holiday. Be safe out there. And we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Thanksgiving to everybody and happy birthday to me.
Oh, when's your birthday, bro?
Saturday.
Well, happy
Oh,
early.
yeah.
Hey, my
Happy
mom's
birthday.
birthday. I should have did this in the upfront. My mom's birthday is tomorrow too. So happy birthday, Mom. You're not
birthday,
gonna see
Mom.
this
Happy
at
birthday.
all.
Happy birthday.
But you know, I'll clip it and send it to you. All right, we got peace.
Peace.